Hey guys, welcome back. So, I looked at the stealth rune word again, and at this point I don't think it's worth it to put together. I think this is probably a better substitute, my gemmed amalgamation. Stealth is a good rune word, it's just only really good early on in the game. There's a few other armor things I could make, but most of them are too high level. For the sake of this playthrough. Most of the low level ones are pretty specific. The Myth and Peace, for example. Smoke is good, but it's level 37, so I doubt I'll be level 37 for that. What else? I decided to stick with this sword instead of this one, and this shield instead of this one. Just because combined together, they give me decent block. I think at this point, the only way I'm going to hit people is by ignoring their defense. And the extra resist keeps my lightning resist near max. I double checked 3-socket helms. There's actually, if I get a Sol rune, I think it's Sol, I could actually make Radiance, or I could make Lore if it was a 2-socket helm, both of which are pretty good. And Sol is pretty high up as far as normal runes are concerned. It's like 12th or 11th or something, but it's not impossible or infeasible. So I'm going to hold on to it just in case. At the very least I could maybe gem it up like this one similarly, but probably not. Besides that, I'm liking most of our gear. I haven't really cleaned out my charms. I need to put 5 more points in strength to be at 80. At this point it probably doesn't really matter. I'm just kind of doing it because I said I was going to get up to 80. But that's really all there is to it. My dexterity has been dipping, so my chance to block has been going down. But eventually on an assassin you're probably going to end up dual wielding, so you don't need max block chance, because you'll just use the block chance on your weapons. Or on your skill, rather. Now, as far as what was I going to say? I was getting distracted by all these dead guys. That's Pindle Skin there. As far as other gear is concerned, a 2, 3, or 4-socket shield would all be useful. That's Spirit and Ancient's Pledge and another who I am forgetting the name of. But so I'm gonna keep looking for socketed items. What else? Might as well just go down. These guys are gonna keep getting back up. We have a full inventory already. Rest of my gear is pretty good. Sold the paladin gear. I'm not going to hand it over to my paladin because I'm going to keep all the playthroughs isolated. Oh, I think I was saying that later on, if you're going into Nightmare, you're eventually going to have to level strength and dexterity more just to equip more gear. But since I'm keeping these all relatively contained in normal, or at least for now, I'm just planning for normal because I can't really plan around gear on a self-found character.
What do you need?
Let's see, this is useful. I did give my merc, I switched his weapons. He originally had just like a gemmed weapon, but I gave him this. It does more damage and gives him lifesteal. This is probably not better. No. So I can sell that as well. Holding on to that defense charm just because, like I said, until I'm really screwed for space, I'm just going to hold on to pretty much all the gems that are relatively useful. Those are our stats right now, resist wise. We're pretty close to max and everything. So while Ancient's Pledge would be nice, it's not really that necessary because we already have max resist, and that's pretty much the reason why you use Ancient's Pledge in the first place. Which we can pretty much owe entirely to Fade for giving us, what, 38 resist all, which is just bonkers. That's pretty much the Ancient's Pledge itself. Of course, once you hit Nightmare, you hit the negative resist, so it's pretty much never a bad thing to have too much resist. So there'll always come a point where you need more, but for now, we're sitting pretty comfortable. Skill-wise, we want to keep leveling Lightning Sentry. Like I said, probably going to save a point at 29 to get Shadow Master and Death Sentry, which will be nice. What else? That's pretty much all of it. This character is mostly done for normal, like we're just kind of filling out the final spaces here. I could be using like Mind Blast more often to stun mobs and whatnot, but it's just not really that necessary. I would kind of just be gilding the Lily right now, because like I'm not that threatened by the mobs around me, so there's not a huge priority to make sure they're all CC'd and whatnot. Of course I'll say that and I'll die, but you know, at this exact moment I'm feeling pretty good. Careful for the chargers. But yeah, I think we actually rolled pretty well gear-wise, even though we ran into some stuff that was not for us, but I mean, that's bound to happen. I think as a caster character, we actually had pretty good equipment. It's good armor. It might actually be better on this guy. Possibly. Either way, it's not going to be significantly worse if it is slightly inferior. Demon Hide armor is the Nightmare. I forget, is it exceptional then elite or elite then exceptional? I want to say it would be exceptional then elite, but you never know with these games, it's all arbitrary. I think Halls of Pain is the one that has the waypoint in it, so you're gonna want to walk around, make sure. Could double check by going back to town for a second, but yeah, our lightning traps definitely have picked up in power. I do not think our charged bolt sentries would be as effective at this point. Ugh. Sorry, shifting around in my seat. The anticipation to kill Nihlathak is just too much. But, like I said, this zone itself later on in later difficulties is not often run for the quest, just because there's not a huge incentive to do it. I think the only thing you get is personalized quest. You might also get the... no, I don't think you do get the town discount. That's the first quest you get it. You get the penalty turned off. So I don't know. But the main reason why it's not done, regardless of rewards, is because whoops, stop casting Fade. Is because people like to kill Pendleskin for magic finding, because he's very close to being in town. Also, less important, but still I guess relevant, that portal is a good place to reset the town stock. If you're looking to buy items from shops, you can just run in and out of that portal over and over again and reset the town stores, that is. Another mask, one socket, not relevant. Looks like we're gonna level again before this is done, which I believe we're shaping up quite well for Ancients, about what level we should be. I want to say we were what, 32 when we killed Bale on the Paladin? We've been going faster, so I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up maybe one level lower. Something like that. But usually you probably end up around 30 if you're just doing what I'm doing and not farming any zones. Just once throughing every quest kind of thing. I would say that's a reasonable number. Of course, if you are scared about certain fights or you're not well geared, you can over level yourself, which is always an option. Especially on certain classes where skill points are very valuable. Sorceresses, necromancers, that sort of thing. Mainly casters. Although sorceresses kind of get a get out of jail free card on normal with at least with boss fights, as far as act bosses and whatnot are concerned, because you have static field, which is just like a I win button. As long as you can survive the standing that close for a second or two. And certain variants of like Necromancer don't even arguably need items for normal. I'm not trying to sound negative, I'm just trying to sound helpful. As far as first characters, they're not the worst choices. Like what first characters are in your, for both if you're new and if you're like restarting on Battle.net kind of deal. Two socket, like I said, it's useful in theory, but I don't think I'll be using it. Looks like this room's gonna give us our level. Large charm, don't mind if I do. I figured there's gonna be a big chest in here. Oh. Me coming off smug, punish me there. Punish for my hubris, okay. So I believe we have what, plus 15 from gear, so if our next level we put 3 in strength, we're done with strength for this difficulty. So it's 28, so we can still put a point in here. And on 29 I'll save my point, and so I can get Shadow Master and Death Sentry. And here is the way down. This zone, this third level, has kind of like a X pattern to it. You just go along the sides here. Nihlathak's in one of them. He's kind of like a necromancer slash overseer to these ice spawn. You can set them to explode, cast corpse explosion, yada yada.
I can't carry anymore.
I don't think there's anything we can make with that. obvious thing to make on our merc would be insight, but we do not have the runes for that. And that is a 4-socket item. Rune word. Our lightning sentry's up to 146 potential damage, so we are just obliterating these mobs right now. Gonna go back to town.
Good day. At your service.
40 to life, Jesus. That is not bad, but I like our caster thing right now. It's a 2-socket crown. I guess we could hold on to that, just in case. We have reached the point of our gold is just a giant stockpile. The reason why I was emptying my inventory is right here. Huh. That is probably... Oh. Ew. That probably is better damage-wise, but we don't really need to have physical damage on our character right now, so it's not the end of the world that we can't equip it. Just keep pushing through these mobs here. That one is hiding in the corner. Fine, be like that guy. Can I come out? No? Okay. That is 2 down. Keep killing these. Sure when our shadow died there, didn't even notice. And did we guess wrong all 4 times? Or all 3 times, I guess. Looks like it. Oh well. We'll say we did it for the XP. So, just need to head over here. And Nihlathak or whatever should be in the corner. Way back here. Which we'll get to eventually. Our traps here should have no real problem killing all of his guys. Just let him get a bit closer. And let the Bloodbath begins. So he's gonna cast Corpse Explosion, so I'm just gonna make sure I don't goof and get chain explosioned or anything. Apparently we have no idea about the power or something. wasn't really paying attention. Speak up, Nihlathak. There's some traps for you. Dropped a Thul rune for us. That's nice of him. Yeah, and he goes.
You dark mages are all alike, obsessed with power.
Our assassin is being sassy because
Nihlathak, but he didn't have the rope.
she kills rogue wizards for a living, so that would make sense. Anyways, that is done. We're gonna have to make the long run up to the ancients now.
Stay a while and listen.
Which shouldn't be too difficult of a fight. I'm not feeling that worried about it. But we'll make that long distance running cross country in the next one. I'll see you guys then. Take care.